Hey everyone, Jim here with Empire Gaming, bringing you a beginner's guide to Minecraft Dungeons. We will be going over some early game builds along with some tips and tricks to help you on your journey.
Is this easy mode?
Minecraft Dungeon is an action RPG much like the Diablo series and Path of Exile. In here, you will start a game with no class identity and very basic gear. As you progress, you find loot that changes and empowers how you play the game. All the builds that we will be going over will be obtainable within the first difficulty tier. First up, we have the Master of the Frontline, the melee build. With this setup, we have a focus on clearing as many monsters as possible and a strong single target bow. The axe has a 3 attack combo, the first 2 being frontal cleave attacks and the third being a spin attack, so you end up hitting a lot of monsters per swing. The bow of choice is a power bow. It has a really strong charged attack, meaning rather than just shooting fast, if you hold down the button to shoot, you will pull the string back farther and the attack will have more damage when released. This gives a nice balance of when you need a bit more single target damage rather than cleaving down mobs with your axe. It's also nice to have on bosses when you can't always melee. You have 2 choices for body armor, the first being scale mail and the second being wolf armor. The scale mail is a pure frontline armor, reducing the damage you take by 30%, along with increasing your melee damage by 30%. The wolf armor, on the other hand, is a bit more of a hybrid body piece. It doesn't give you the tankiness like the scale mail, but it will give you more damage overall to both your melee and range attacks. So if you want to put a 20% damage on melee and range, along with added benefit of healing your teammates when you're grouped up, this is the body piece for you. Lastly, we have the artifacts. Here, you'll want to be using Boots of Swiftness for extra speed, Deathcap Mushroom for faster attacks with your axe, and Ironhide Amulet. This artifact allows you to survive a lot longer in combat, making you take a lot less damage than normal. Next up, we have the the range build. Once again, when it comes to clearing as many mobs as possible, you want a bow that can hit a few things at once. With that said, the scatter bow is our best friend when paired up with the artifacts we picked out. Each attack, you will be sending a minimum of 3 arrows at once. The body armor you're going to want to use is the Hunter's Armor. It gives you 10 more arrows when you find a bundle on the ground, along with increasing your damage with range attacks by 30%. The melee weapon really doesn't matter, so just find one that you like. And now for the bread and butter of the build, the artifacts. Torment Quiver is a must. This artifact lets your range attacks do knockback and a slow. And remember, when you're attacking with a scatter shot, this normally single arrow can turn into 3 or more. It's a really good form of defense when you don't want enemies near you. Boots of Swiftness is your utility artifact for the build, giving you extra movement speed. And lastly, you want Fireworks Arrow. It shoots out an attack that deals high damage and explodes on impact. Again, stacking with your scatter crossbow. And for our final build, we have the Mage setup. Here, you'll be using the souls of your enemies to fuel your attacks. This build's a little bit more tricky because as of right now, other than collecting souls from fallen enemies, there isn't really a reliable way to build soul charges. But to start us off, we have the Soul Knife. It's a thrusting attack, and whenever something dies, its soul will start to move towards you. Having this weapon gives you 2 soul points. Your soul bar is in the bottom left of your toolbar. The soul crossbow shoots a consistent damage number and gathers 2 souls as well. And for the body piece, we have the Soul Robe. This will double how many souls you get when a creature dies, and increases your high damaging artifacts by 50%. The artifacts give you a variety of ways to use the souls you've been gathering. Harvester releases up to 50% of your souls to deal massive damage all around you, and knocks back enemies as well. Did you ever want to become a shark with a freaking laser beam attached to your head? Well, Corrupt Beacon does half of that. You shoot a laser dealing damage in a straight line in front of you for as long as it's active, or until you run out of souls. Lastly, we have Soul Healer. This is a way to use your souls to heal you up when you need it the most. All of these artifacts also have the ability to increase how many souls you get when something dies. The blacksmith and the wandering trader in camp are sometimes your best friend, and most of the time, your worst enemy. You'll be spending nearly all of your emeralds with them. The blacksmith gives you a random piece of gear, and the wandering trader gives you a random artifact, where it matches your item level tier, which is shown when you're picking your mission. Each map drops different pieces of gear. I recommend doing each mission once, and once you've reached the adventure difficulty, then start farming for items you really like. You just have to defeat the last boss in order to progress into Apocalypse mode. So you don't have to clear all the stages again. Hey, big thanks to everyone who stayed till the end. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out with that YouTube algorithm. I stream every Monday through Wednesday at 7 p.m. CST. Drop by and say hi. Would love to see you guys there. We do viewer dungeon runs and help with leveling and gearing up. Hope to see you guys soon.